What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 5 of the F124 Driver Career Series. Continue on with our Formula 2 Championship for the race weekend here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. If you guys did miss any of the first 4 episodes, make sure to go check those out before you see this one. There'll be a link in the top right hand corner of your screen now. That'll take you to the playlist. And make sure to get subscribed for more future F124 content as we continue on into Formula 2. Today, our aim is to emerge as the leader in the Drivers' Championship, 12 points behind Frederick Vesti, tied with Bam for second place in front because of our one feature race win. No more talking, let's get underway for the sprint race here at Imola.
So today, the sprint race, no pit stops, just full on pace. It's all about speed, daring, and sheer driving skill. What, I wonder, is in store for us today? Unlike many of the other tracks our Formula 2 drivers will be familiar with, Imola is driven anti-clockwise, and a lap around here is just over 3 miles of hard racing. We can expect that to be even more challenging than usual given the conditions here today. 19 turns along the route, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. The rain is going to play merry havoc with the drivers' braking performance. Pay special attention to turn 16, where drivers will also need to factor in the elevation change as they try to nail their braking and perfect their line into the longest straight on the circuit. It's Formula 2, it is the sprint race. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me. Now Alex, there's no mandatory stop in the rules, but this is Formula 2. Anything could happen.
Well, there were plumes of dust coming off the cars at the beginning of free practice, so not a lot really. Quali's on the other compound of tyre usually, so for the sprint race, you kind of finger in the air, figuring it out.
So here we go then, time for action in the sprint race, starting from P9 on the grid, obviously top 10 reversed from qualifying through P2 for the feature. Ben will start on pole, just behind us to our right. In terms of qualifying, we'd actually get a slight improvement in our pace rating, which in the end took us up from a 69 to a 70 overall, so I should count that before we get into the actual race itself, just to keep things together for continuity's sake. But looking forward to this one, obviously top 8 scoring points, slightly better qualifying this time round than compared to recent events. We've obviously been outside the top 10 in both races going throughout. So today we hopefully a bit more improvement on that. Hopefully we try and nab some podium places and jump in front of Vesti in the stands. Everyone lines up on the grid. Derulo and Cordial in front of us. Bevan and Oasa behind. Starting from P9 for the sprint race here. Our first wet race on F124 here in Formula 2. The lights are on. The lights are out. They held us for a long time, but we are underway here at Imola. Down towards turn 1. It's a long run down towards Tamburello chicane at the first corner. Derulo, a poor start on the right-hand side. When Tran pulls to his inside to go towards turn 1. Moving to the points already. Cordial there on top as well. Going to try and pull to the inside if he can of the virtual racing machine. Contact with Hadjar. Derulo gets back in around the outside. He'll maintain P7. Contact with Cordial. We get a warning for it. Sliding around there through turns 2 and now 3. But in front of Cordial, but nearly gone off the circuit and off onto the gravel trap. We keep it steady and take away P8 to start things off. So 1 place gained in the opening sector here. Derulo and Hadjar, our next 2 targets up front. Vesti shows the way for Prema. Not good for us. We need points on Vesti in order to try and take the lead of the World Championship going out to this event. Around the outside, Derulo in toast to the left-hander, trying to make a move on the exit. Can't quite do it, so we'll stay in P8 for now. That's 1 point. It's a decent start. There's still a long way to go in this race. Plenty of time for us to make up those places, but the rain will make it a lot harder as things continue on here. Pushing on towards the end of lap number 2 here. 2 purple sectors in the first 2 sectors of the lap, and still hunting Derulo though. No chance at a move just yet. Yellow flag behind us. Going to continue on. No concern to us. Not actually sure who that is. We'll get confirmation, I'm sure, in a moment or two. But Vesti still leading in front. Behrman behind us. He's falling outside of the top 10, so not a fantastic start for our compatriot. So he's got some work to do there, but obviously he has pole position for the feature race, so we'll look to make up for it then. And Jack Crawford goes out of the race for High Tech, so that's our first retirement of the race weekend, goes to that of the American Jack Crawford. We'll see if it's a problem he's had going through the second sector. So let's have a look then at the replay at just what has happened to the Red Bull Academy driver, charging down towards the chicane for the second time in this race. A very early problem. There's no smokes coming out of the car. You can tell there's no smoke because the spray obviously looks quite similar, but there's no smoke, so it looks like to be some kind of internal failure. Something smaller has collapsed on the car, but regardless, it's enough to put him out of contention here. There's been no damage to the car whatsoever, so he pulls over, and that's our first retiree this race weekend. Jack Crawford for High Tech brings us down to 21 cars in this sprint race. Pushing on now, midway through lap 4, looking to continue to hunt down Derulo and try and take P7 away. Better exit out back on Minerali down towards the chicane once again, and looking to make a move if we can. Might try and dive to the inside if we can get close enough. All the way in. She's going to straight send it into the corner. He's got just about enough room. Derulo goes over the sausage curb. We keep it behind him. Might try and pull to the outside of him. That'll be the inside for the next left-hander. Slight kink of a left-hander here going through into the last sector alongside Deruvla now and charging towards the last 2 corners on the circuit. Cordeal behind us looking to try and pick any pieces and perhaps a collision, but nothing of the sort for the minute. P7 for us. We've got the fastest lap to boot as well, so it's been a fantastic first few laps. A good start to this race to continue on towards lap 5. We're handling these wet conditions quite nicely. The F2 cars aren't too bad in the wet, so we'll keep managing things as they are. Obviously, still a challenge to handle, as obviously all wet racing is. Drew likes to keep an eye on him, perhaps making a counter-attack down this main straight. He's good down towards turn 1. Yellow flag in front as one of the leaders having some kind of problem. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Let's have a look here as to who is emerging off into the gravel trap at turn 2 on the exit. It's Vesti! I don't believe it! The championship leader's gone! Frederick Vesti gets out of the race, and that will be big news for us as we look to try and close on Frederick Vesti in the Drivers' Championship. He goes out of the race. Our second retiree in just over 4 and a bit laps is the race leader and championship leader, no less. Huge implications there for the standings as Vesti goes up in smoke. Very different to Crawford's retirement. A lot more grandeur about that. And you see Roman and Stanek then to try and take the lead, and you see us emerge from the corner as well. No sign of Vesti at all. What a slide there out of the Tamburello chicane, but Vesti is pulled over and he is out. Game over for the Dane in the Prema. We'll continue on here. P6 for us now. On to lap 7 of this race. We've got no objective to avoid more than 2 notable collisions for 3 laps. Getting towards the end of that now. We've been all okay so far. We're trying to make a move to the inside of Isaac Kadjar. Down into the left hand of the high-tech machine. One hard-tech's retired. The other's been passed by us on the exit, jumping in front of Hadjar and into P5 now. Of course, every single place is an extra point on Vesti. If he can win this race, it's a full 8 points. Bring his gap down to just 4 in the standings. With Behrman not scoring, we open up a lead on him as well. So things are looking quite good for us this stage of the race. But I think the rain is starting to settle a little bit here. You can see it's definitely a lot lighter now compared to where it was on lap 7. Now we're on lap 9. Down the inside of our teammate Victor Martins. Got objectives to overtake him on lap before lap 12, which we do almost immediately. But obviously, it's just the one pass there, which I think is the one flaw of this sort of objective. Martins pulls back in front of us. I think the objective really should be they should count it at the very end of it, whether you are in front of him or not. Because you can pass him and they easily lose the place like we did just there. But still on the outside, there he is there, looking to make a move. We'll stay alongside him. We're probably outbreaking him. It's Akram Miloradi here around the outside and up into P4 now. 1 place off a podium position here from P9 on the grid. We haven't done too bad at all here, but the rain is definitely starting to slow down. Vashor sets the fastest lap. We take it back onto lap 11. Just 3 laps to go in this thing. Dennis Halgar, our next target. That's Vashor and Stanek in front with the race lead, trying to pull away in the trailer. Down into turn 1 we go. You can see a dry line is starting to form on the racetrack here. We'll see if we can close in enough on Halgar to make something work. We haven't got a lot of time, and these wet tyres, if we keep running on a dry line, will start to wear out a bit faster here, and we're already struggling on those tyres as it is. To the inside of Halgar, going in towards the Villeneuve chicane and jumping in front as we move up into the podium places now into P3. For sure, next target might try and go for a move and Tose here into the left hand we come. Down the inside, considering it for a second, but not going to go for it. And there's the orange tyre warning light on our MFD and a slide there, just to sort of illustrate just how big a problem this is at the minute. So pushing on now towards the end of lap number 11, we could be looking potentially at a pit stop, perhaps going to set dry tyres at the end of this race. We're looking at perhaps a set of super softs that run us to the flag. Well, of course, we'll be sacrificing a bit of that for the feature race later on in the episode. But through the last corner, we'll see what Vashor and Stanek do in front of us. Both cars pulling into the pits, so we're going to join them here. And I imagine it's dry tyres going on everyone's cars because there is a dry line now on the racetrack. It's still raining a bit, but I think it'll be manageable. So we're going to take the plunge here. We're going to take that risk and try and put on a set of super softs to go to the end of this sprint race. And from there, we might be able to pass both these two cars for the victory on the dry tyres. In we come now, making the change. Hard tyres, super soft tyres going on to the car. We're away. A brief stoppage there, but nothing too major. Keep nothing that will lose any time. Iwasa there, right behind us. Vashor and Stanek both emerging in front. There goes Stanek and there goes Vashor. We have a bit of damage on our wing there, but it's not too bad that we can manage that for the time being. We must have got it in a collision earlier on, just not noticed. But we'll continue on as we are. But it looks like we're the only ones who have gone on to super soft tyres. Everyone else around us has gone for a set of wets. Have we made the bad call, or have they made the bad call? The AI made the strategic error. I have to wait and see here. 2 more laps to go in this race. We'll try and push on to get around Vashor and Stanek. I think those are 2 main targets. The last 2 cars we have to pass in order to try and nab our first sprint race win of the season to add to our feature win from Australia. Final lap now. Here we go, trying to decide this thing. We're a second back from Vashor and Stanek, but the circuit has dried considerably here. It's still running a little bit, but it's enough for us to keep on pushing and looking potentially to nab both places on the last lap here. Out to Tamburello we go. Vashor, a particularly bad exit. Going to pull to the inside of the Van Amersfoort car. Going down towards Villeneuve. Going to try now break our rival there on the inside and up into P2 now. And Stanek there too. We might try and go for both places here in just a few corners. down the inside of Stanek for the race lead. Underneath him, up into the first place, but going too deep. Stanek gets back around us there, and Vershaw takes us 2, and a slide 2. And we may have blown our chance to win this race. We've been a bit more patient. We may have just done it potentially, but we've still got time to try and close on at least Vershaw. But it looks like Stanek might have this race wrapped up because we've got to get around the Van Amersfoort again before we can even think about taking on the Trident in the last part of this race. Hauger behind us. If we spin up, make any chances go wrong, he's there to capitalise and take a late podium. Cordelia in 5th place. He's had a fantastic race behind for Virtuosi, but it's all about the race for the lead here. Can we take Vershaw and Stanek in the closing dying moments of this race? Down the inside of Vershaw, into the chicane for the last time, jumping in front, sliding in front of that machine, and up into 2nd place. But I think we've run out of time to catch Stanek, who's away by a second now. I think it's game over for our chance of winning this race, but a full 8 points then will be gained in the championship because of obviously our positions and the fastest lap going our way as well. Stanek will run the last corner. He'll take victory in the sprint race, but we will run to the line to claim P2 after a fantastic drive. And with Vesti's retirement, that definitely sets us up well for the feature. But Stanek nabs the fastest lap at the last second, and that is quite frustrating. Even on the super soft, we couldn't catch him despite being on the faster, drier tyre. The wets worked out for Stanek in the end. He takes the win. We take driver of the day, but it could have been the race victory if we'd just been a bit more patient going into that second sector on the last lap.
This has been a super drive. Roman Stanek takes the win.
It might not be the same points as the feature race, but it is the same podium, and they get to wave at the fans from it.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be Trident picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for coming out on top in that amazing race.
So the sprint race then captures yet another unlikely winner. It is Roman Stanek of Trident who takes the victory. We come home in 2nd, and 3rd place Richard Vershaw for Van Amersfoort. A crazy race there. Vesti goes out, Behrman fails to score. Big gains for us in the championship. Prema have well and truly collapsed today, and we'll see if that impacts the standings in a moment. But in terms of the final results throughout the rest of the field, 9 points for us in the end. Vershaw takes home 3rd, the Hauger 4th, Cordial 5th, Hadjar in 6th. It's Ayomo Wasa in 7th, and Behrman in the end, actually, no, sorry, does score a point in P8. He beats Alfred Paldi after the pit stops, and Victor Martins, our teammate, rounds at your top 10. In terms of the championship, then, just 3 points back from Vesti, and Behrman is 9 back. He only gained 1 point today on the championship leader, but of course got the 2 points for pole position for the feature, and Prema lose their lead a bit. ART starts to close in with our points today, but honestly, it's still an uphill task to try and catch him. We need Martins to try and score some more points and really get up there in the championship. In terms of racing, then, improvements to experience and racecraft. In terms of awareness, no improvement. Pace goes up by 1, and focus goes up by 1 too, which brings us obviously about halfway to 71. Could try and get 71 with a good feature race. You never really know, but it's time to find out to see if we can do just that. Perhaps take our 2nd career win and 2nd win of the season.
Welcome back to Imola as we get ready for another glorious day of Formula 2 action. Imola's unusual in that it runs anti-clockwise, taking in 19 turns along its 3.1 miles of tarmac. 9 of those are right-handers, with the remaining 10 as left-handers. Now, the F2 drivers here today need to keep in mind the elevation. Pay attention to turn 7. A slow exit from here will lose a driver a lot of time as they struggle to accelerate uphill. As the engineers make their last inspection of the cars, let's take a look at today's grid order for the race. Ollie Behrman lines up on pole position, and Cohen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Deruvala, Cordial, Isaac Hadjar, Martins, Hauger, Vershaw, Stanek, Frederick Vesti, Awasa, Novalak, Arthur Leclerc, Juan Manuel Correa, Doohan, Fittipaldi, Miney, Zane Maloney, Nissani, Boschon, Crawford, and Brad Benavides completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Hello one, hello all, and welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, he is Alex Brundle, and we have changeable conditions today, Alex. How does that uncertainty affect the strategy?
There are going to be some quivering hands on the tyre guns, aren't there, when they tighten up what could easily be the wrong specification of tyre completely for the conditions. It's a gamble out there.
Here we go then, cards on the table for the feature race here at Imola from P2 on the grid. This is our best chance of victory. The rain has cleared, the skies have opened up once again. It's a nice blue sky awaiting us for this 18-lap showdown around Imola. The Autodromo Enzo Di Dino Ferrari. As the formation lap about to get underway here, Behrman alongside us, of course, he is our main target. Behrman only 9 points back in the championship from the lead, 6 back from us. We're 3 behind Vesti, who will start further down the order after his retirement yesterday. He starts from P10, I believe. So just in the points already, and we've got a big chance to try and add the lead for ourselves today if things can go our way. The formation lap underway, we're warming the tyres up considerably. Obviously, that did a bit more of a turn in the dry. Didn't warm up as much as we might have liked, and we were so much warming them up in this last little bit that Deruvla caught us and then Cordial caught us as well, but almost goes through both cars. So we'll take our spot here on the grid, lining up, getting ready for the start, and ready to set up to try and make a move on Behrman as he wait now for the lights. Here they come for the feature race here at Imola. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are underway. Poor start. They've a bit of a slide on them super softs. Behrman on fresh ones. He takes the lead over us. Deruvla on the left-hand side as he charges towards the first corner. Into Tamburello for the first time. Deruvla pulls side by side into that first corner. The MP driver into second place potentially. If he can get us on the exit, he can get us on the exit. We fall down 1 place on the start instead of gaining 1. And those super softs we used during the sprint yesterday wore out a fair bit while still being on a slightly damp track. So we're in a bit of a hole here in terms of tyre wear. We could be in real trouble in this race. But we're down a place, lucky not to lose any more than that. Going through Tosa, the left-hander here for the first lap of the race. Another slide there, a brief slide on the exit. Cordial behind us, Hadjar in P5, but Behrman is pulling away already. He's got a massive lead, which has closed a bit towards the end of the first lap. But another slide of the last corner. Here comes Amori Cordial down the main straight, taking away P3 from us. We're off the podium. It's a terrible first lap of this race. Behrman leads the way, 1:31.6 his first lap. We were a full 2 seconds behind him on that first lap. Hadjar to our inside now as well, looking for P4. We're going to try and shut the door on him and try and close back in on Cordial going towards the first corner. Can't do anything for the minute. We're staying in P4. This comes towards the end of lap number 3 now. DRS will be in our favour for the first time in this Grand Prix. Deruvla there as well. He could lose 2 places if he's not careful here. Down the main straight, Cordial to the inside of the racetrack. We're closing as much as we can here. Cordial in second place. Can we take Deruvla alongside him? Behrman is away. Clear leader at this point as he goes through turn 1. We go around the outside of the MP driver, and this time we take away the place from Deruvla and Cordial. Now our next target. Look at the gap that Behrman's pulled already. What a fantastic start there from the Ferrari Junior, our fellow Ferrari Junior. Let's try and make a move here towards the end of lap number 5 of this race. Down the inside of Cordial into chicane. Can we outbrake him? Yes, we can. And looking in and getting clear of him over the sausage curve a bit. We'll manage to get away with it. No warnings there in terms of track limits. So up into P2 now. For Behrman now 3.5 seconds to the good and with the fastest lap to boot. Typically someone behind him would have taken it by this point, but not for the minute. On to lap number 6 now. The super softs coming off. We're going to put on the set. I think it's the set of medium tyres we're going to. I could be wrong on that. I have to see what tyres we go on to into the second stint of this race. But all in all, it's been a poor first stint, to be honest. Cards on the table, gutted about how it's gone so far. Let's see if we make the change here onto the set of medium tyres. There goes the change coming on, and we'll try and gain a bit of time on Behrman. It looks like Bashor, Stanek, and a whole heap of cars joining us, and we're getting stuck behind him in the pits here. We've lost a decent amount of time there, and that could cost us massively. Perhaps on these tyres, the extra lap on them, we could have closed down Behrman a little bit, and they used that over the second half of the race. Perhaps not to be, though. We've lost about 3 or 4 seconds in that. So now we've got to simply hope that Behrman gets held up again by the cars behind him. But obviously quite a gap there. Hauger and Stanek pitted with us. They're coming out right behind them, P13 and P14, as we re-emerge back onto the racetrack to continue on lap 7. We've got our objective here to achieve a fuel load below 30 kg, which we're close to doing. I have to see if we can sort that out in the last part. Chris Mendy out the session, our first DNF of the race for Campos. Let's see what's happened to him here. He was one of the cars that came into the pits with us. To have a look at the replay here as just what's gone wrong. It's our 3rd retirement of the race weekend, and it's courtesy of the Campos, which goes up in smoke there, going towards Villeneuve. So unlucky for him. He goes out of the race towards the sort of halfway point of this thing. No points for Campos today. Not looking good for them in the championship at all. Manny is out after a solid result in Baku last time out. On to lap 8 then, and we're closing now on the cars coming to pits. Behrman is far and away gone, and we pass Hadjar and Cordial going into the first corner. Hauger following us through. He's right there behind us, putting us under consistent pressure. We're going to try and pull away as best we can here on these medium tyres. You see it's open gap already as he charged through towards Villeneuve once again. Behrman, 5.4 up the road. He's come to lap 13. He is only 3.9 up the road. Starting to close the gap a bit, but we're running out of time. We've got objectives to achieve a lap time of 1:30.9 in terms of the championship. We'll see what we've got to say. We come over the line here to achieve the objective.
As things stand, we're going to be leading the championship.
Leading the championship, but by how much? Because Behrman is also gaining points on us. Of course, the full points for the victory. We've got the fastest lap, so that might bring us tied, to be honest. We push on to the last lap. That was really all she wrote. Behrman started to open his lead back up. He's now 7.2 in front. So not the most entertaining of races here, but a race nonetheless. And we've managed to hold a solid P2 plus fastest lap. Hopefully this time we won't get nicked at the finish line. Behrman into the last couple of corners here. He's dominated this race, nailed the start, and nailed everything else that followed. And he'll emerge in the last corner in front of the Italian fans. A home race for Prema. He'll take his first feature race win of the season. He's got a sprint in Jeddah. He's now got the feature race at Imola. Behrman takes the flag. We'll come home in P2 here, and we'll keep our fastest lap, which will mean that we'll go into the next race very close to the championship between myself and Ollie Behrman. Vesti has collapsed in this race, ladies and gentlemen, in this race weekend. Imola has not been kind to the Dane in the other Premos. It's been very kind to us. 2 second place finishes, and the driver of the day as well, after another, quite frankly, fantastic performance, but it wasn't enough to catch Behrman.
The British driver will see the checkered flag first. Ollie Behrman takes the win.
Well, it's the team's local track, and you'd think that'd give them a little bit of an advantage, but they put on a show for the fans out there today who will be checking in on their progress.
It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today.
So the Brits and the Italians can be very happy today. Prema and Oliver Behrman take victory. We come home in second, and in third place it was Amaury Cordial for Virtuosi. Solid race all round for all three drivers, but Behrman really was untouchable today. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we'll just have to see how close it is now, because obviously he scored a fair few points on us. Of course, we have the gap to begin with. So we have to see how close it is. In terms of the rest of the top 10, Hauger comes home in 4th, Hadjar in 5th, Sprint Race winner Stanek in 6th, Vesti takes 7th in the end, only 6 points for his championship charge, Deruvla in 8th, Novalak 9th, and Victor Martins again rounds out the top 10. So we'll see what happens in terms of the Drivers' Championship. We now lead the standings, but we are tied with Oliver Behrman, 94 points each. Vesti now 10 behind, Hauger 30 back, Deruvla in P5, MP doing a solid job in the standings, and Victor Martins there in 6th place. But tie now between myself and Behrman, and Prema re-expand their lead after Behrman's victory. And again, we need Martin to be on a bit more in the next couple of races. We need to try and take another win, try and establish our lead over Behrman, which will be next time out in Monaco. But that'll do it for this video. I do hope you guys did enjoy it. In terms of rating improvement across the board, no pluses except for awareness there. Pace goes up and focus goes up, but not enough for another rating. And we do get 71 rating in the end. So all in all, a fantastic end to the episode. 2 second place finishes. If you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F124 content as driver career continues. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in my next video. Have a good day, and goodbye.